Hey YouTube, right here. Alright, wanted to go ahead and put out a MGTOW video today, and one where it's nice and relaxed. It's not a reply to anyone, just me talking to you guys. So I decided to go with the subject of why women say they want a sensitive guy when they really don't. And the reason why I say they really don't is because in practice, it doesn't pan out. The guy's sensitive, then all of a sudden, he's overly sensitive. Oh my God, he actually told me how he felt. What the hell? You know, that sort of shit. So, why do women say they want that? Well, take a look at the time span where they say they want that. Take a look at what they're looking for. Usually it's a woman that is looking for a guy for a relationship. Typically, they are in those childbearing years. You know, either they're coming up to the wall, or maybe they decided to get an early start, right? Maybe they're in their mid-20s. Which is still childbearing years. Don't fucking go technical on me on that. I know that's still childbearing years, but hell, if you want to go technical, childbearing years is from the first fucking time they have their period all the way up to, you know, basically menopause. Not smart doing it on either extreme end of that spectrum, but those are childbearing years. So now that I got the technical assholes out of the way, y'all know who you are. But let's go ahead and get down to brass tacks here. If they're in their 20s or in their, low to mid 30s, they're in those childbearing years. They want a guy to get married to, have kids with, that sort of thing. But what ends up happening? Oh, well, I want, this guy. Well, they get the sensitive guy. But what do they use against him when it goes south? They use his emotion against him. They'll sit there, do everything they can to get him to be violent, to say something that a court's gonna go, oh my God, I can't believe he said that to a poor, helpless woman. And all of a sudden, increased alimony, kid's gone, increased child support. No visitation for the kid. The dad's ripped out of the kid's fucking life. The dad also has a fucking restraining order on him. If he happens to be working in the same place as her, guess what? Because of that restraining order, he gets fired. He is not allowed to fucking go to work. Because there's too much of a chance. He's got to worry about going to somewhere like fucking, Walmart or something like that, because she might fucking be there. Shopping for clothes for her kids before she goes to some super high-end fucking place to go ahead and buy a Gucci bag for herself later. But, yeah, I'm a little vindictive there. But the reason why I'm vindictive is because I have seen that actually fucking happen. I've seen a woman go to Walmart to shop for clothes for her kid, and then go out and buy like a $200 outfit just so she can look pretty, to try to find the kid a dad, when I personally know the fucking kid's real father, and the guy's a good fucking guy. He was always good with the kids, just wasn't good with her because she was a vindictive cunt. But hey, just wanted to throw that out there, just so that way people understand why, I'm bringing that one up. Although a lot of MGTOWs will understand that. But the reason why they want you to be emotional is so that they can go ahead and use those emotions against you later. Nothing worse than having a stoic guy that's sitting there having the woman go batshit fucking crazy on him in the middle of a fucking court case, and him just sitting there going, just looking at the judge going, And you're asking why the relationship's going south? Really? So yeah. Honestly, that's why I think women want a emotional guy. You know, a sensitive guy. A guy that wears his heart on his sleeve. You know, that sort of thing. They want it so that way it's easier to hit the target. So, guys, if you happen to be one of those guys that wears your heart on your sleeve, me, I don't necessarily wear it on the sleeve, but it's definitely up more towards the inside of the fucking bulletproof vest, you know? Right? I mean, y'all can probably see that in my videos. I am not a stoic person. If I ever seem stoic, that's when you run. Because at that point, I'm sitting there thinking, what would be the best way to snap this motherfucker's neck? Do I want to snap it to the left? Do I want to snap it to the right? Do I want to break it over my knee? Do I want to go ahead and feel it crack in my armpit? You know, that sort of shit. And don't say you've never had those fucking thoughts. I don't care if you're a man or a woman. You've had those fucking thoughts. Everyone gets that fucking pissed off at some point in their life. We've all been teenagers. And it takes a lot to get me to that now. Would I ever do it? Depends on the person. But that's beside the point. More than likely, no. Now, let's go ahead and go on the reverse side. Why would a sensitive guy walk headlong into a relationship with a woman? Well, because he doesn't know what's waiting for him. He thinks that women are this caring lot. That they will understand their feelings. No, they won't. Because the thing is men and women may have the same emotions, but we experience them in different ways and for different reasons. Is there some overlap? Of course. You know, if you walk in on your partner, you know, getting it on with someone else, it doesn't matter if you're a man or a woman, you're going to get pissed. Unless you're into that sort of thing. But even if you are into that sort of thing, usually you're going to get pissed if it's a shock. If it isn't something that was agreed upon. If your partner kicks you in the stomach, you're probably not going to be all like, oh, they love me. But here's the thing. They keep sitting there and saying, well, with a woman, she can get over, you know, cheating a lot easier than a guy. Like, fuck, she can. She lords that over you for the rest of your fucking life. And then if she cheats, she goes, well, you cheated, so you have no reason to bitch. But then when she cheats again, she forgets she used that card. And so she uses it again. When you sit there and go, wait, well, I cheated fucking once. She's like, well, how many times were you thinking about someone else while you were having sex with me? So you probably cheated on me more than that. Really? Okay. All right. Cool. So how many times were you thinking of someone else while using that fucking vibrator? I say we're fucking even. But I digress. The reason why I'm bringing this up is because I keep hearing women say, oh, I want a sensitive guy. Oh, I want a sensitive guy. But what kind of guy do they end up ultimately getting with? They end up going with the guy that's not really all that emotional. They end up getting with the guy that is basically all business at the end of the day. Because the thing is she's gone through, she's ridden the cock carousel, she's had her fucking fun. She knows that she's not going to be able to go out and pull as much cock as she used to. That's going to be a lot more difficult. Especially after you have one or two rugrats. Then, then guys are sitting there looking at that going, oh, okay, yeah, no, that's been wrecked going both directions. But On top of that, they're sitting here using that last guy for their social status. Because they already got, you know, their financial and all that met by the previous guy that they ended up going ahead, roping in, and then leading him to slaughter. You notice how I'm saying that she's using? Well, that's something that I've noticed very, very common in younger relationships. The woman uses the guy. And then, you know, and the thing is this pans out when it comes down to, look at how long it takes a guy to get over a long-term relationship breakup versus a woman. The woman, usually within a couple months. She's probably moving in with another guy at that point. If she's not instantly moving in with another guy, a month or even a couple weeks afterwards, if not the same fucking day. Whereas the guy takes his time. He might go ahead and have a couple little flings, but nothing serious. But remember, men are the unloyal ones. Even after it's all done and over with, we still have that in the back of our brain. Now, not all guys are like that, obviously. You know, I mean, you got the guys that jump from woman to woman to woman to woman. Guys that date, you know, 4 or 5 women at the same time and somehow manage to pull that shit off for a long period of time. But a lot of guys really don't have that in them anymore. They're more looking for actual commitment. I think it's funny how the stereotype of, oh, guys are just afraid of commitment is still around. And they point to MGTOW going, yeah, see, they're afraid of commitment. No, we're afraid of getting fucked over by the law. We're afraid of our entire life getting stripped away from us. Valid fear. When you look at the statistics, again, they're not in our favor. Why are we going to take a losing bet? Because what are the benefits of marriage? Still waiting for an answer on that. And I swear to God, if someone sits there and links the PragerU, you're banned. That was bullshit. I'm not talking about the one where they're all like, whoa, 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 whoa. I'm talking about the one where it's all like, oh, you should get married. It's kind of weird that PragerU has both of those videos. Just, yikes. Kind of makes me question the health of PragerU. But, yeah. Don't sit there and say, oh, well, a man gets fulfillment out of taking responsibility for other people. No, he doesn't. He gets more stress. Stress is supposed to have a payout. What's the payout you can look forward to if a marriage does go successfully? Sure as hell isn't regular sex. Sure as hell isn't a partner that's always going to be there for you. Since a lot of women keep a plan B at all times. So they're sitting there and keeping that water lukewarm there. And the thing is sometimes it gets a little hotter than lukewarm. Because remember, a woman thinks it's okay to go ahead and fuck you over just for her getting bored with you. Oh, you're a responsible guy. You're out working to support me and our kids, even though I'm out, working a part-time job, if I'm even working at all. But you're not willing to come home, do 3/4 of the fucking housework, do all the house repairs, also go ahead and, take care of the kids half the day. I don't know where you're getting all this time, but you need to fucking be able to warp time. You need to be able to split yourself to be in multiple places at once. And then also at the same time, have enough hours in the day to listen to every bitch gripe and complain that I fucking have. Yeah. That's a recipe for grinning hyperactive disaster right there. Because no man can live up to that. Oh, and then she also wants you to be able to be spontaneous after she's completely filled up your calendar to overflowing. Every day of the fucking week. Where she knows exactly where the fuck you are at every moment of every day in the week. Yeah. But you're supposed to still figure out a way to throw a surprise party. Or to sit there and somehow get the rose petals leading to the bed, or, you know, to a fucking, you know, romantic dinner and that sort of thing after she gets home from being out partying with the girls sucking on some other guy's dick in the back of the fucking bar. Yeah. So no, honestly, your payout isn't all that good. You get a lot of extra stress. And for what? For a fucking shit payout that can't really be called a payout, unless you consider going ahead and getting your parking validated, the equivalent of winning the lottery. I mean, that's about it. And what's the worst case scenario? You lose everything, including your freedom. That's the worst case scenario. So the best case scenario and the worst case scenario go from to holy shit. Yay. But no, women want a sensitive guy. You know, the type of guy that's going to get absolutely destroyed by something like that going down. You know, the type of guy that actually gets hurt from being lied to. The type of guy that she'll actively see him break down and sob as he's losing everything. So that she can go ahead and laugh about it with her friends later. While she's going and cashing the check. That is why they want a sensitive man. Just so that way they can completely destroy that bridge. So that way there's no chance of that shit creeping back up on them later on in life. So I think that it's funny that now they're sitting there and going, where have all the sensitive guys gone? They've ran the fuck away from you. They've seen what fucking happens. They'd rather go ahead and have sex with a fucking blow-up doll than with you. They really don't like the thought of being completely emotionally destroyed every single time they do what you claim you want them to do and them actually commit, or should I say, submit to you. They've seen it happen over and over again where these guys, they're sitting there bowing before the fucking golden vagina just to look up and have a foot come down right into their fucking teeth. So yeah. Women wanting a sensitive guy. Yeah. You know what the equivalent of that is? Wanting a stationary target for gun practice.